Hi everyone, let us start with the third chapter of economics, money and credit. Money as a medium of exchange. So when we go to purchase something, we simply give money and take the required material which we need. So money is the medium of exchange, but earlier there were barter system. In this system, money was not used. People used to exchange material with the other material, and as a result they used to face problem which is known as double coincidence of want. Here in your book there is a simple example given to you. Suppose a person want to purchase a shoe, and that person is a farmer and he has some wheat. So now to get the shoe he has to get the shoe in exchange of wheat. So he has to find somebody who is in need of wheat as well as who makes shoe also. So both factors need to be matched, then only the farmer can get a pair of shoe. So this kind of problem is known as double coincidence of want. Next is modern form of money. We know modern form of money, either there are coins and or there are paper notes. Earlier there were valuable materials used to make coins like gold, silver, copper, etc. But these days those valuable materials are not used. Simple paper notes or coins are available. These days we have e-currency also, and the Reserve Bank of India issues currency notes on behalf of the central government, and other than the Reserve Bank of India there are no organization who can print currency. Next is deposits with bank. So we all have bank account. Why we open the bank account? Because when we earn something, we use the money, earn the money, we use the money, and the excess money is kept safely in the bank. And when we need money, we can take that amount out of bank, and that's why these kind of bank accounts are called demand accounts or demand deposits, because whenever we are in need we can take out those deposits from bank, but we keep it in bank so that it can be safe in bank. And there is check also. Through check also money can also be transacted. These days we have e-banking and all, but check system is, everywhere you don't have to take money, you don't have to carry money, so you can carry check also. An original check, all of you have seen, you can see a checkbook, and here the example has been given how somebody should write a check. Our next topic is loan activities of bank. Now suppose you have a demand deposit account in bank, and you deposit money, suppose 1,000 rupees. Whatever money you deposit in bank, the bank keep 15% for day-to-day transaction, and rest 85% they use for loan activity. Suppose you have deposited 1,000 rupees or whatever money, whatever amount, that amount, out of that amount 15% will be kept with bank, and rest 85% will go for loan activity. Whosoever asks for loan, the loan has to be given from that account, and from 15% day-to-day transaction, but it is not required that once you deposit money, the next day you can withdraw the whole amount of money. So this is how the loan activity is done. Now why does the bank give loans? Because when the bank give loan to people, they get interest, and the interest, whatever interest they get, that is the profit of the bank. They have a fixed amount of interest. Whatever interest they get, that is the profit of the bank. That's why the bank gives loan. Next is two different credit situations. Here are two stories. In the first story, it is said that one person, he gets an order of 3,000 shoes to make, and he does not have money. That's why he takes two loans. First loan, he take the raw material. He went to the person to get the raw material, and he borrowed the raw material. And second thing is, he took the loan from took some amount of advance money from the person who ordered 3,000 shoes, and he promised that he will deliver all the shoes on time. So on time he delivered all the shoes, and for that he worked a lot. He hired some laborer also, and when he made all 3,000 shoes and he delivered it to that particular person, he earned a huge amount of profit. Out of this profit, he gives wages to the laborer also, and wherever there was, he borrowed for raw material, so he made the payment for raw materials also, and rest of the profit he earned. So here we can see the credit plays a vital and positive role in this situation. And the next is one farmer. She took loan before the sowing season, but unfortunately there was a crop failure, so she could not repay the loan, and in the next session again she has to take another loan to start one more cycle of agriculture. This time the production was fine, but she has taken two loans, but this time she can repay only one loan. So again one loan is pending. So here we can see the credit pushes the borrower into situation from which recovery is very painful, because she has to take loan again and again for each and every agricultural season, but there is no surety that she will come out of that debt trap. Next is terms of credit. To take credit, to take loans, there are certain terms and conditions. One is collateral. Second thing is terms and conditions of the second thing is the interest rate, and third is documentation. Collateral means you need to have some asset that instead of when you show that asset to the bank will give you the loan. Second is, as I told you, the interest rate, the rate of interest, how much rate of interest you need to pay against your loan. And third is documentation, the paperwork which you need to do. So that's it for today. Thank you so much.